This is Prime Sports Media. I'm back.
Tell the truth.
What's up, y'all? This is Prime Sports Media. I've been gone for a little while, but I am going to be back on the saddle to give you great content. This channel, Prime Sports Media, is primarily about following the career, the coaching career, and whatever's happening with you see the man up there, Deion Sanders. We're going to be following on this channel. I know it's been a while since I last dropped videos, but we'll be dropping videos more frequently, regularly. And I want to thank those out there who have subscribed to the channel so far. It's a young channel, but we're going to be following Deion Sanders' career as he has left Jackson State for a Power 5 program. And that is, as we already know, that's Colorado University. Give him a clap there, Colorado. And he's there and he's making things happen and getting a different attitude on the campus, taking a university that once had a great football team and trying to bring them back to prominence. So we got to give him kudos for that. And it's going to be a tough road ahead because the Pac-12 isn't a pushover lead whatsoever. You've got some really good teams in there, the USCs, the Utahs. They're not going to be just stepping down and saying, hey, Deion's in town, so let's just roll over, let him roll us over and beat us. Deion, just like he's telling his players, they've got to earn it. They're going to have to earn it. Every which way is left and right because the Pac-12 is a power conference and you've got some really great teams there. Now, remember, Deion is demanding excellence of his players because let's not forget that once upon a time, Deion Sanders was a all-around athlete, mastered two sports, baseball and football. And he's the only man in history to play football and baseball, I believe, in the same damn week or same week, getting off of helicopters and what have you. So he has the pedigree that a lot of coaches in the country don't have and I believe are jealous of. This is a man that's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame college football player. He won at the college level. He won at the pro level. He's got that yellow jacket. He's been He's done great commentary on sports media. He's got great personality. The man has done it all and he has the charisma to create something special at Colorado. Now remember, Travis Hunter was the young man that he brought over from Jackson State and convinced him to come on over to Colorado to do his thing at Colorado. As you can see here, Deion Sanders throwing him the ball. There he is. And Travis Hunter, what are they going to do with him? Is he going to play defensive back? Is he going to play wide receiver? Because the young man is very talented. Now, Deion Sanders is without any controversy. We got to keep that in mind because as much as people cheered for him at the game, as you can see there, they're cheering. They're loving Deion Sanders. They're loving what he represents. They want him in the house. They want him there supporting their team. But guess what? As I said before, he's looking for excellence. And this is the kind of excellence he's looking for.
Good morning, everybody. Morning. Oh, this looks good. Everybody in here was picked, selected.
He says we're going to win.
You are a difference maker. You're special. You are somebody. You're a conduit of change. And that's what we're going to do, change things. I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand we're going to win right now, not later, right now. Because we're going to have this room and these boards full of guys that's going to compete, full of guys that are winners, full of guys that wants this, that wants to be a conduit of change. Everybody in here is a change agent. We could go down the line and every last one of you have a story how you provoke change wherever you've been in some form or fashion. It's no normalcy. It ain't no normal guys in here.
Tell the truth.
Everybody's been through something, they come out of it, but you changed the game wherever you've been. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Now, what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that Deion Sanders is looking for a certain level of excellence from his players. He has told them early in the going of him leaving Jackson State and coming over to Colorado University, he told some of the players who were from last year's team in Colorado that didn't win but 2 games, I believe, that he's bringing his Louis, he's bringing his luggage, meaning he's bringing in other players. It's going to be a competition. It's not open to everybody. Even when it comes to his own son, Shakur Sanders, as it says here, why should Shakur Sanders avoid father Deion Sanders on game day? Because Deion he's not pulling any punches here. He said, I ain't giving you nothing. I ain't giving you a damn thing. As Deion is saying, you're going to have to earn it even if you're my son. That goes for Shiloh. It goes for any of his family members because he wants excellence. As you can see, he wants to win and he wants to win now. Now, one can think that maybe that scares these young recruits. Maybe it's scaring not just the recruits, but maybe it's scaring the players, the young players that were there last year when they had their losing, not their winning, but their losing ways. And sometimes when you win and when you lose, it could permeate your mindset. So if you're used to losing, you almost feel like, hey, I can't do any better. But I think he might have, some of the kids may be concerned about whether they can live up. This is just my speculation, whether they can live up to Deion Sanders' expectations, because he's come in there and said, I'm not giving you any easy way here. You're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to compete. We want people that are dogs here to compete. And that's the attitude that Deion Sanders has. So as of late, they're saying that there's about 18 players that have left the program through the transfer portal. Now, Deion Sanders already said to the players that were there, hey, if you want to leave, there's the door. Go to the transfer portal. But let me caution you, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a team out there or a program, another college program that's going to pick you up. So you're taking your chances. But if you want to do something, be great, stay here. Now, Deion said it that he is committed to excellence from the day one he had his press conference, and he said, hey, I'm going to give you my best stuff. He's put together a decent staff, as you can see here, just as illustrated, the Colorado Buffaloes football coaching staff. He's put a staff together. He's bringing players in through the transfer portal, and they've got quite a few. Now, check this out. According to 24/7 Sports, the third-year defensive, now there is some trouble going on in the program because one of their top recruits, they got top recruits that have come in, and you got kids wanting to leave or thinking about leaving. But this is the most important thing. This young man, which is Nico Reeds, he's entering the transfer portal. And I'm going to play a little bit of this. He actually is one of their best players from last year at the defensive back position, which is very difficult to have a young man of his caliber leave Deion Sanders' program this early on. And it makes you wonder, what is he afraid of? Is the young man afraid of competition? Is things not working out? Does he see himself not fitting into Deion's program? I don't know. But once again, the latest and likely the most productive player was defensive back Reeds. According to 24/7 Sports, the third-year defensive back started in every single Colorado game a year ago and played a major role in replacing Christian Garcia, who transferred to Oregon. Despite the team having such a poor season a year ago, Reed was one of the few bright spots, recording 42 tackles, total tackles, 2.5 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack, 2 interceptions, and 9 pass deflections. So he's a guy that comes with some pretty good credentials. Reed chose to sign with Colorado in 2021 out of Hayward, California, ranking as the he's a 3-star prospect. He came in as the number 178 athlete. Now, Deion Sanders knows something about defensive backs. Why would this young man want to leave the program when he could be coached by one of the best that did it in the game? And I feel really bad about this happening because I think the young man really needs to take a pause and say, wait a minute, why am I leaving? I could be coached by one of the best to ever do it as a defensive back in Deion Sanders. But the young man says, I'm going with my heart. I'm going with where I feel. And he feels that he's not making a mistake by leaving. He's going to go with his heart and how he feels. Now, there's no guarantee when you recruit these young high school phenoms and you have guys that have already played there and they're figuring out, where do I fit in with this new coach, this new coaching staff, the new surroundings, and he's bringing in his family and other people in there. It just makes you think, where does he fit in? And the Pac-12 as a conference is loaded with talent. So my thing is, will this hurt Colorado or will this inspire them to say next man up? Because Deion said when they had their spring game just this past weekend that he's got 70 recruits and recruits who couldn't get there because of the snow. But let's let you hear for yourself the controversy around Nico Reeds. And here we go.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
He's saying that it is what it is, but let's play this back once more.
Don't weed anyone out. They weed themselves out. We don't tell them, we don't make them quit. They quit. Or I don't want to say quit. They jump in the transfer portal. You call that what you want. Okay? Before a national televised game, before a sellout crowd. So you call it what you want. Okay? So it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what
now,
it is.
As you can see, Deion is saying it is what it is. We don't make them jump into the transfer portal. It is what it is. And what he's saying is that, look, we're going to give these young men a chance to compete here at the highest level. But if they don't like what's happening, they're going to leave. He can't control that. You would think that Deion Sanders, that these young men would never want to leave, but you just never know what's going through a young man's mind. And I'm going to play this back one more because I just think it's interesting because there's this player who's played here is leaving and he actually could add to the success of this program. But let's hear this one more time.
Don't weed anyone out. They weed themselves out. We don't tell them, we don't make them quit. They quit. Or I don't want to say quit. They jump in the transfer portal.
As you can see, Deion Sanders is saying, Coach Sanders, Primetime, is saying, we're not making them quit. They make a decision on their own to jump into the transfer portal if they choose. But we're here to provide guidance and excellence. I think personally that the young man, in my opinion, could be making a mistake by leaving that he may regret. I don't know, because Deion Sanders has a lot of great things in store for this program. If you just give it a little bit of time, the young man may see where he fits in this program. And I think a lot of times with young players, they're looking to be the star. And maybe he feels like, hey, I'm not going to be a star in this system of defense that they're playing. Maybe it doesn't fit my style. Who knows? But the most important thing is, let me give you an illustration. Deion Sanders has come a long way from where he was at Jackson State. Okay? It's happening, y'all. he is getting recruits. He is getting people in. But I want to remind you of something just a little bit. Let's go back to when Deion was talking about his recruitment at Colorado University football program. I'm going to give you a tad bit of what he said way back when.
Everybody, our new signees, the whole football team, staff, coaches, everyone that we brought, you have made them feel impeccably good. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. Recruiting staff recruited over 150 schools, putting this magnificent class together. In December, in 5 days, the staff recruited 9 states, ahead of the early signing period on the 15th. In January, in 10 days, the staff visited 19 states. Junior Day this past weekend was phenomenal. When I tell you that I could still see some of the parents' faces and the kids and how excited they were when they walked around the complex, when they got to sit down with the coaches, when they articulated their dream and their vision with me. And we're going to have some commits that you're going to hear later on about that 24 class. But it was a phenomenal day. I mean, 67 recruits from 24, 25, 26, and 27 over 2 days. Recruits visited from 15 states, and they balled. I'm sure some of you done reports on them with 3 and 4 stars, even though I don't give a darn about a star.
As you can see, Deion Sanders was saying that, hey, we've had 62 recruits come in or more. They were 3 and 4 star, 5 star. He says he don't really give a damn about how many stars they have because it's about what they can do when they're in those cliques, on that field, in the practice room, in the practice field, in the room studying the game plan. And he wants character. He wants commitment. He wants purpose. And this is about how you build a football team, a mindset. But this was back when he was very happy about the number of recruits that have committed to Colorado, as you're now hearing that there are 18 that are leaving to the transfer portal. And a lot of those are guys who were already on the team from a year ago when they were going through their losing. And maybe some of these are folks that he recruited and they're now having second thoughts. It's just the way it works in college football. But let's hear this again, or let's continue to hear this.
These kids can flat out play, and they are who we think they are. Signing class newcomers, 42 new scholarship players to date, which is incredible. 29 are already enrolled in the spring. 6 new walk-ons. 1 played for me in high school, and I can't wait to see how he comes about. He's phenomenal.
So they've got 6 walk-ons. He's got a lot going on there. Let's hear the rest.
There are 35 newcomers on the spring football roster. 6 spring walk-ons, 47 newcomers in 2023 to date. Newcomers from 16 different states and 2 countries, which is awesome. 16 states is the most in CU's history. 13 way back in 78 when I had hair. A lot of hair. 18 different territories. That sounds really good. Good job. Your sound is really good. You did a great job. Can you give me that? You're making the stuff sound incredible. Okay, I like it. Almost 14 in 1978. This is the first season since 78 that most players didn't come from California, Colorado, Texas, Florida. Is in the league with 7 players, and I plan on doubling that. I love my Florida boys. I know what they're gonna give me. I know who they are. I know how they're raised, and we have tremendous.
So Deion Sanders, Coach Sanders, Primetime, is telling you about how he loves his Florida boys. He's going to recruit Florida heavily because that's where he's from. He's also talking about California, how he wants to heavily recruit California. So that was back when, prior to losing 18 players to the transfer portal, he was very excited about those recruits that were coming in as potential young men that would sign. And Colorado ended up as one of the top ranked college programs in the country that was getting some of the most ranked at the highest level of transfers that were coming in. And even though he's lost 18, that doesn't mean he doesn't have more knocking at that door saying, wait a minute, I might have a purpose and opportunity to flourish in his program. Let's just hear a little bit more of this.
Bringing those kids from Florida. Once they realize it ain't that cold, it's going to be all good for my Florida boys. Class of those signees, Florida 7 and Georgia 4 in CU history. class rankings, they said, guess what number we are ranked? 21. God is something else, isn't it? 21 ranking overall.
So you can tell that's when they were ranked at 21. And Deion, you can tell he's very happy about the progress in recruiting. Now, let's go over this really quickly about the situation with those recruits that left the program. Let me read something to you real quick. Sanders talked about this in his first team meeting. That was that first team meeting that I talked about earlier, or I showed you earlier in this video, when Sanders was talking about we're going to win and we're going to win right now. And let me just play this again.
I don't know if y'all know it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you feel it, but we're going to win. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to win. You got to understand we're going to win right now, not later.
All right. So as you can see, Deion Sanders saying we're going to win right now. Not later, but now. Let's give him a clap for that. Sanders talked about this in his first team meeting at Colorado in December when he told his inherent players, I want all to get ready to go ahead and jump in that portal, that transfer portal. Deion Sanders started the spring with 51 scholarship players who were on last year's team, but 31 of them already have opted to leave. So he's already lost some players. This ain't a big deal right now because he's gone through this process. All of the players leaving were part of a program that has had only 2 win seasons in the past 17 years. That includes 2 talented players who led the team in catches last year. Craig, 23. Now this young man, Craig, who has left the team, I think his son, Shakur, had a few choice thoughts about it after they had the game, the spring game. Didn't seem very happy about that young man leaving, the receiver who had 23 catches for 359 yards. And then we have Tyson, who had 22 receptions for 470 yards before suffering a season-ending knee injury in November. These are individuals that are leaving or have put themselves in a transfer portal. Let's read some more here. This was not an easy decision, but one that I have thought long and hard about. That's Tyson, one of the receivers, saying in a message posted on Twitter this past week on a Monday. Now we got running back Deion Smith, who was Colorado's leading rusher just last year, but also said on this past Monday ago, he was entering the portal. He rushed for 83 times last year for a total of 393 yards. I got to be honest, these are not eye-popping numbers. So I don't know if Colorado is losing anything with these guys because those numbers didn't look good. And it also is indicative, in my opinion, of one of the reasons why they were losing in the way they did, because they weren't producing. Maybe it was coaching, maybe players weren't producing, maybe it was the wrong mindset. Now he goes on to say this: I will be entering the portal as a graduate transfer, Smith said on Twitter, and God makes no mistakes. That's true. God doesn't make no mistakes. But guess what? Deion Sanders doesn't want people who don't want to be there and don't have the passion to want to win the game and play the game the right way, that it means that what? We're going to have success here. Let's go on and hear this. Now, Deion Sanders, I got to be honest, because I thought that this was incredible over the past weekend. The game was, the spring game was exciting. One of the highest attendance of a spring game, and God knows when. Let me give you the statistics on this right now. Now, Deion Sanders as a coach, check this out. The last time this happened, the type of excitement over a spring game in a game where there was snow in spring, which was very unusual, it makes you scratch your head. But Lincoln Riley, first USC spring game, aired on ESPN last year with 287,000 views. But check this out. Deion Sanders' first Colorado spring game on ESPN just this past Saturday, it got a whopping number of 551,000 views. That's pretty damn good. You got to give him a clap for that. You really, really have to do. Now, Deion Sanders, the biggest test is right here. Paul Farmbine, who's a sports, analysis, does sport analysis for Alabama, has been doing it for years. He's been on ESPN's got radio show. He says that, hey, Deion Sanders is going to have to show what he's really about through them winning. And it's true. If they don't win, he said that ESPN and all this hype is going to die down if they, at the end of the day, don't win football games. And that's true. And that has to explain why Deion Sanders is being so strict in the way he wants excellence from his players. Now, let's give you a little taste of what he had to say about that exciting spring game just this past week, where you had 551,000 viewers and you had ESPN and everybody and their mama there. Let's hear this right now.
Ariel Orsuto, 9 News. Coach, this sold-out game had more fans than the past 9 spring games. Can you just talk to the atmosphere here, what it was like, and what really the effect of the Prime effect has been like for all this time?
Ariel, I can't really talk about the effect. That's on you guys to talk about that. I was amazed. I didn't know that it would be like that, but the energy, just walking out the locker room with the team, it was unbelievable. It was a moment. It was one of those moments that you would never forget. It was one of those moments that was something to behold. Like, you had to be there. You had to be there. A couple of our GAs that was on either side of me, they were our GAs in Jackson as well. So just lining up in the tunnel, getting ready and feeling it, and then our song comes on, and here we go. And we're running out there. It was unbelievable. Even with the weather, it was unbelievable. I'm always thinking way down the street. So I'm thinking recruiting. I'm thinking, okay, national TV is showing snow in the spring. That's not good. But, but everybody, people use that recruit against us. But with the fan base and everybody that was there, I'm pretty sure they said, hey, man, this is all right. Then it's going to be 50 tomorrow. That's the thing that upsets me. 50 degrees tomorrow. And I can't wait to send everybody in the country over social a picture of the field tomorrow in the sky, in the backdrop.
Hey, Coach Prime, Pat Graham, Associated Press. It was a lot of fun to watch today. I guess my question would be, what do you think of the product on the field, that you had an eagle-eye view of that thing?
We're playing against us, so it's kind of hard to measure. I was looking for certain people to do certain things, and the certain people that I was looking for to do certain things, they did those things really, really well. And some things, special teams, as far as the extra point field goal, that was horrible. I mean, that was hot garbage. So I get tired of that. I ain't gonna want to see that anymore. So I didn't even let them kick towards the second half, except for the one that being blocked. 2 scooping scores darn there that is uncalled for. I understand it will be a lot of product that we're going to get in that won't be out there, but still, whatever you do it with all your might and do it with a commitment to excellence. And we didn't do that on that particular special teams. But other than that, I think they competed. I was happy. I told them I love them. I was proud of them. Everybody competed, and everybody got an opportunity. I don't think it's not one kid that didn't play or didn't get an opportunity to make a play. So I'm happy with that.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, Ario.
Good.
Nikki Edwards, CU Sports Report. You had 70 recruits here for this weekend.
That's all? Because some flights got canceled. That's why. It was just 70.
When you got to sit down with all of them, what was your message to them, and what did you want?
I want to stop it right there, because that's a very good point there. He's got 18 players that are leaving through the transfer portal. But let's keep in mind, he had 70 kids that were supposed to be at the spring game, some that weren't able to make it because they got caught up in the bad weather. So that's a good point, that he's got people still coming in as he's losing individuals who don't want to play there for whatever their personal issues or reasons are. So I think that's very important to keep in mind as the media put out there that he lost these 18 recruits. Let's continue.
Them to leave Boulder with.
You got to understand, a lot of coaches attack it differently. Oftentimes, the kid is holding all the cards and you're trying to see if he's going to choose you. We're trying to see if we really want him, because it's a certain standard that we have. I mean, it's a certain, when I talk about smart, tough, fast, discipline with character, I'm not playing. I'm serious about that. So we're recruiting one another. So these young men that are coming with family members and mothers and fathers and siblings and all that, it's interesting. The thought process. I have several poignant questions that I ask every last one of them, and I want to know those responses. So this whole thing is somewhat different, and some people approach it differently. I have a certain approach, and I don't fluctuate from that. And I want what I want, and I'm gonna get what I want, and I'm not gonna. What's the word? Give me a word, somebody. Compromise. You go, girl. I'm not going.
All right. As Deion Sanders said, he's not going to compromise, and that's why he can't be that concerned or that worried about losing those recruits, because that's the name of the game. You're going to win some and lose some, and he knows that, being a competitor that he is. If you've gotten value from this video, definitely hit the notification, and that is subscribe, hit the bell notification, and watch another video. I'll be back with more videos like this if you like this one, but keep doing what you're doing. I want to appreciate everyone out there that has subscribed to the channel. I give you a clap and kudos. Deion Sanders is doing what he needs to do. You see him with the fly merch right there, doing his thing. And look, everything takes time. It is true that if they don't win, you know, as much as people build you up in this society, they love to tear people down. So that's the real measuring stick, is how Deion handles the ups and downs of coaching and dealing with young men. Now, let me play just a little bit of this to give you a reminder of when Deion Sanders told these young men, hey, if you're going to go in the transfer portal, do what you got to do. And here we go.
Everybody's gonna look like everybody. I'm coming. It's gonna be a different place, a different feel, a different attitude, a different energy, a different work ethic, a different want, a different hunger, a different desire, a different need, a different capacity. It's gonna be a different reach. I'm coming. See, by now you gotta feel it. You can feel what I'm saying. You can feel where I'm coming from. And you know I ain't playing, because I got the credentials to back it up. I'm coming. And you're gonna hear me, because it's gonna be little solid little footsteps that you don't even have to strain, but you don't know I'm coming. Just a second, my voice.
All right, everybody. This is Prime Sports Media, and I appreciate everybody that supports this channel. And we're going to do it again and do it again and do it again, everybody. Everybody, take care. Peace. Prime Sports Media. Prime Sports Media.